Thank you. Good morning and welcome to Joe Sammut Live on Monday, June the 15th. And again, welcome. I appreciate you showing up today. Today is going to be another day on credit and what we can do with credit, what we can do with debt consolidation. Can we refinance that? Basically, how can we get you out of situations that you perhaps have found yourself in? Before we begin, I want to just mention that a couple of weeks ago, we had Kevin Cochran from the Enriched Academy on with us, and he was generous enough to offer up 4 of their program pieces or program cases, and we put it out to our viewers and to the people that they shared with. So that way we gave away 4 of these beautiful Enriched Academy financial literacy and wellness packages, and we have 4 winners. I'd like to announce them: Jennifer Lee, Sean King, Katrina McHugh, and Mark Fuentes. So Sarah from my office has been in touch with all 4 of you to let you know that you have been the lucky recipient of one of these packages. So I hope it changes someone's life that you know, or potentially helps you with some credit. But most importantly, it is a great opportunity for you to learn some financial tricks, some financial wellness that maybe you hadn't known up until now. So again, I want to thank everybody for viewing that session with Kevin Cochran and for sharing. And please continue to share, because there's information here that we want to get out to people. And one of the best ways to do this is through this medium. So one of the things today's session is going to be talking about is refinancing debt. And I just want to mention to you that I am contacted regularly. A lot of the phone calls that I'm having today are with people who are finding themselves in debt that they perhaps didn't want to have, didn't know they had, couldn't manage what they had. So a lot of people are very, very concerned, and a lot of people are perhaps a little bit shy, a little bit ashamed, a little bit embarrassed to talk about their credit. And I encourage you, I implore to you all to, again, speak to anybody that you know that might be having credit issues or credit concerns, maybe not even issues, but concerns, and just let them know that there are options available to them. And we can hopefully share some of the things that we do to hopefully get them through this process or the stage in their life. So as I say, I get called quite regularly from people who have racked up a great deal of credit. It could have been for very good reasons. They could have done an addition to their home. They could have renovated their basement. They could have put on a new deck. They could have done all kinds of great things. But now what they're finding is that some of this debt is getting ahead of them, and they're not able to manage it as well as they would have liked to have. So don't bury your head in the sand. Encourage people that have debt or that find themselves in situations with debt to speak to professionals and find out if there are options for them. And a lot of people say, well, go bankrupt, go into credit counseling, or go into a debt proposal. That's not always the way to do it, because keep in mind that any of those credit solutions are going to impact your credit for many, many years to come. So if you own a home, you have equity in your home, and what the equity means is the difference between how much you owe on the home and what the fair market value of the home is today. If you have equity in your home, then what you may want to consider doing is working with somebody like ourselves to access the equity in your house to pay off the debt that you have accumulated. And the key thing is to get yourself through a situation, or through the situation, by consolidating debts and making sure that you then don't rack those debts up again and make it unmanageable for yourself. So one of the things that, again, the financial wellness enriched academy program talks to people about is how to save money, how to manage their money, how to budget their money. So if we go through the process of refinancing debt and using the equity in a home to pay off that debt, then make sure that you take steps not to do it again. Or if you are going to do it again, make sure that it's being done correctly, wisely, and that there's an exit strategy and there's a means to an end. So one of the things that we talk about is, again, accessing equity in somebody's house. So the key thing is by law, you can only access, and based on new rules today, new mortgage rules, you can only access up to 80% of the value of your home. So if your house is worth, say, $500,000, the maximum you can take out in financing is up to $400,000, 80%. And that means that if somebody had a $300,000 mortgage and they had $50,000 in debt, what we can look at doing is accessing $50,000 of that extra $100,000 that's available to them to use to pay off that debt. And that would still leave them the $50,000 available plus the remaining 20% equity in their home. So it's designed in such a way to make sure that people don't erode all of the equity in their property and use their home as a bank machine. We don't want people racking up credit, consolidating, racking up credit again, consolidating, because ultimately what could happen is the position might be found whereby you've run out of equity to refinance. So from that standpoint, you don't want to get yourself into that position. So let's take this example. So you have a $300,000 mortgage at a bank, at a lender, it doesn't matter who it is, and you need $50,000 to pay out some lines of credit, some credit cards, some high interest rate car loans, things like that. What we can do is, depending on your financial position, we can place the $50,000 in conjunction with your original $300,000 and refinance everything into a new $350,000 bundle mortgage. And hopefully we'd be able to do it for you at lower rates than perhaps you're paying now on your $300,000. And most certainly it would be at lower rates than you're currently paying on the $50,000 of debt. So now what you have is a $350,000 mortgage that you can pay off over time. You can make balloon payments when you're able to, and you can pay it down more rapidly. One of the things that I encourage everybody to do that goes through these debt consolidations is to take a look at what they were paying pre-refinance. So as they were trying to work with the challenge of these debts on a monthly basis, take the amount of money that they used to spend on those credit cards and lines of credit and now allocate it or earmark it toward paying down that mortgage. So two things are being accomplished. You're getting an interest rate on the mortgage at significantly lower rates than you would be on credit cards and lines of credit, perhaps. And you're able to pay them down rapidly. So you're able to watch the balance of your mortgage decline where you weren't able to see that perhaps on credit cards and lines of credit. So again, you've just now taken $50,000 of liability, which is keeping you up at night, which is causing stress and aggravation, and you're wondering how you're going to do it. Well, now you just potentially resolved that issue. Now, let's say you have equity in your home, but your income is affected by perhaps what we're going through right now with COVID, or your income is being affected by a temporary setback, a temporary situation. What we can do is, if we can't take you to an institutional lender to consolidate that $50,000 of debt, and I'm just using that as a number, so please know that your own situation is specific to you, and we will most certainly deal with specific situations as they come along. But let's say you're in a position whereby you can't consolidate debt because you don't quite meet the bank criteria. What I can promise you is that when you have equity in your home, there are private lenders that could be approached to lend you the money that you need to consolidate this debt. And the idea is that it's a short-term solution to a very short-term problem. So what we can do is we can go to a private lender, we can access money registered on your house just like any other mortgage, and they are legitimate lending sources. They lend you the $50,000, you consolidate your debt, you get yourself into a position in your life whereby you may then be able to be mortgaged through a bank. We then take you to a bank and we take out that private lender. So lots of options available to you. Do you need to stay with the same lender that you're currently with? Not necessarily. Do you have to stay in the high interest rate perhaps that you're paying? Not necessarily. We have options that we can explore that can uncover a solution for you on an individual basis, no matter what your situation is. Now, key thing is you need to have a home, because that's what I do. I do mortgages. I don't do loans. So we can't help somebody with a consolidation loan. We need to do it as a mortgage on a property. We need to have, in an ideal world, we need to have, again, a good amount of equity in that home. And in recent years, with the appreciation of real estate, most people have realized an appreciation of value. So that's a good thing. We need to have good credit. We need to have a good job in order to get you the consolidation through the banks that I was talking about earlier. However, if you don't meet those or that criteria with the credit and the job, again, we have alternative sources, be it private lenders, be it B lenders or alternative lenders that might very well be able to consolidate the debt for you on a temporary basis. So don't be worried. Don't run and hide. Don't think that your situation is unique, because it's not. I can assure you that there are a lot of people that are in debt today, and for a lot of good reasons and some not so good reasons. But the key thing is let's do what we can to consolidate that debt and then learn from it, and going forward have better financial wellness, better financial literacy, and we can all work together to make sure that going forward you don't run into that same situation again. So to recap, debt is not necessarily something you need to burden yourself with unnecessarily and in private. It's something that you can talk about. It's something that we can help you with. Do you have to stay with your current lender? The answer is no. It really depends on whether or not that option makes the most sense for you. We'd have to do a study to figure out whether or not you stay with that lender or we take you somewhere else and give you a more holistic approach to your financing. And consolidating debt lower your monthly payments, your monthly obligations? Absolutely. That's why you would want to do it. And what you do with that lower payment is you now have free cash to perhaps pay down your mortgage more rapidly, perhaps save for education for children, perhaps go on that vacation that you need to recover from all the debt that you just ended up paying off. So a lot of things that you can do. There are a lot of options available. I keep saying this in all the sessions we have. Lending is alive and well in Canada. There are people that are borrowing every day. There are lenders that are lending every day. And it's a matter of seeking the advice and guidance from a professional that can help you navigate through the process that you're going through, the challenges that perhaps you're going through, to put you in a better position going forward. So on that note, I'd like to, again, thank you for joining us today. And please share, talk to anybody that you know that has credit that they're concerned with or issues with debt. And we'd be more than happy to do what we can to help. The key thing, again, is they have to have a house, because we can only do mortgages. So share this. And again, I thank you very much for joining me today. If you have any questions, please email me, reach out to me through my social media feeds. And by all means, I will address any questions that you have as quickly as possible. Thanks so much and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.